Hey, welcome to Mystery School.
Welcome to the Mystery School, where we try to verbalize what a jam is, have everybody out here.
I guess that's what we do sometimes.
What are we doing out here tonight? We got a special guest, Mr. Aaron Brown, out here on the bass.
Hello.
We got Tony, as usual, on the guitar.
Here I am.
Here he is.
And Dustin Burton.
We got
drummer.
the power trio tonight.
Trio.
So what's up, Aaron?
Not too much. I was invited out here to drink some beers and enjoy a little bit of music.
Right on. Yeah, it's good to have you. I guess he's kind of an insider, maybe a long-term fan, I guess, a long-time fan. I pushed the podcast on him in heavy doses.
Dustin works with him and just like forces him to hear this music at his desk.
I force it nonstop.
I wouldn't necessarily say force, but since we do work in the same department, it is constantly on. No complaints, though, I'll say that.
I wouldn't say force, but handcuffs and headphones are involved.
Yeah, it's mandatory. How about that?
Well, see, I don't want to get fired, so...
See, I got bills to pay.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, good to have you on here.
Yeah,
thank you, guys.
So let's start off with like how you got into music. Probably like your parents or something, or
my father bought me my first guitar when I was 11 years old. Took lessons for 6 months or so, and just kept playing on my own.
What'd you start listening to when you first
Zeppelin, AC/DC, all the good stuff.
You were an early rocker.
I guess so.
Like, how old were you when you first got an album you liked a lot?
Teenager, maybe 13, and at that time I collected every single Led Zeppelin album. Yeah, and was trying to emulate all of Jimmy Page's riffs and everything.
Were those tapes or vinyl?
Tapes and vinyl.
You do tapes and vinyl?
Obviously, no CDs or anything at that point in time. So, yes. And at 14, one of my dad's buddies brought a bass over, and I just sort of took a liking to it and never gave it back.
Yeah.
He said it was okay for me to keep, and from then on, I've been stuck on the bass.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Were you getting good at the Jimmy Page riffs?
No, I was too young.
Yeah, it's hard stuff to do.
So what's that first album that really just made you decide you wanted to play music?
I forget which one it is, but the album that Kashmir is on. Because back in the day, I remember sitting by the radio with an old tape recorder waiting for this song to come on so I could listen to it over and over again.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we all did something like that back in the 80s.
I did it with Green Day when I was a kid.
Okay. Yeah, I got into them a little bit, but not all that
you
much.
were older. You were probably a little older, so.
I'm 37.
Yeah, I'm 30.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool. So so merging from guitar to bass, what was your first project on the bass?
After Blood Sugar Sex Magik came out, thought, okay, this is cool. So
was that your main bass influence?
Yeah. And then I heard Frizzle Fry, and then it all went to hell from there. So, But the first bass riff I ever learned was "Give It Away," a very crude version of it, but
all right,
at least something.
Yeah.
Since you were a big Zeppelin fan, were you like a huge John Paul Jones fan when you started playing bass too?
No, I was more into guitar at the time.
So you kind of got into Chili Peppers and were going all funking out.
So did the merge from guitar to bass, did that change your musical preferences then? You went for more bass-driven music?
Actually, the music made me change to a bass guitar.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, I like this a little bit better, and I just...
So was the Chili Peppers Give It Away?
Well, as the first song I learned, yes.
Were you rocking the bass hella low too?
What do you mean as far as like a low
like long strap?
No, like the strap low, like Flea.
No, not really. I always found I could never play like that. It's not like, I see, a lot of rockers like that. It looks like they're just jerking themselves off, basically. So it's like, okay, no, I'll play it up here.
Right on. So Chili Peppers, the Colonel Claypool there with the Frizzle Fry and Les.
Correct.
All righty then.
That's, yeah.
You're all about the crazy funk, like.
Yeah, I don't necessarily play that style anymore. Just more of the groovy jam kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was like what got you into the bass, though. Yeah.
That's what got me into it, yeah. And it was like, oh my God, these guys are playing so fast and so crazy. I wish I could do it. And then, you learn a lot of like crazy slap bass riffs and stuff like that. And after a while, there's just no feeling to it. You're just sort of going fast for no reason. So after that, I don't know, just started developing my own style, and up until, you know, about the end of high school, really started getting more into the jam band stuff. And that's where Uncle Harlan's Amazing Jug Band came in. And I was with them for several years.
And was it actually a jug band?
No, there was no jugs involved. just the ones I was drinking.
Just the name.
Yes.
Just the ladies with the jugs in the front row.
Definitely. But, I mean, at that time, you know, I had a fake ID so I could get into the bars we're playing at. And I was the only one that was of age, you could say. So, I mean, I'm picking up the bar tabs. Everyone else is just playing. But, you know, they're utilizing other mind-altering substances, you can say. But I could drink, so it was cool.
Everyone else was younger, or you were all the same age, but you were the only one
We
with
were
the
all
ID.
the same age,
Yeah.
but I had an ID.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing.
That's cool. They actually let you play the bars, though. That's cool. Like nowadays,
Yeah.
they kind of aren't even into that.
Well, back then, we used to do every other Friday at the Fox and Goose. That was sort of our steady thing.
The home base.
Home base, basically.
That's a good running gig.
Yeah.
Every other Friday at the Goose.
Yeah, didn't really make any money, but then I didn't care. You know, it's about fun and, you know, drinking beer,
Yeah.
especially
Free
when
booze,
you're
stays to
20
play
years
on.
old.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that was a good deal. We played a couple of music festivals, like up in Bear Valley, and that's, you know, crazy hippie madness. But that was fun to a certain extent.
So what do you guys sound like, kind of?
We're trying to emulate more of an Allman Brothers sound. But if you mix Allman Brothers with the Dead and the long interludes between songs of basically just jams and that only kind of thing, and then coming back into, you know, pretty southerny guitar riffs, that kind of a deal. And
That's cool.
at that time, I was really gotten into Steely Dan, so I was putting a little more funkish kind of stuff into the bass. See if I can pull any of that off tonight. It's been years since I played, so no guarantees here.
Do you have any recordings of that stuff?
I found one on YouTube. I actually showed Dustin. It's from
wow.
'97.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a live show from Cesar Chavez Park in Sac.
How could people find it looking it up on YouTube?
Uncle Harlan's Amazing Jug Band.
There ain't too many of those
in
out there.
1997.
That's all you need to
That's
look up.
it. It's the only one I've ever found. We made
But
a
you don't
CD.
you don't have any yourself? You guys weren't recording stuff?
No, we recorded
Oh.
one CD. I've lost it since then, and I don't know anybody that has it.
Yeah.
So if you could find it, the CD was called Cabin Fever. Don't know. I've
So,
never been able to find it.
If anybody finds it, email it to the mystery school, and we'll get it back.
Yeah.
Get it back in print.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice to hear it. I mean, we played all the songs on that one show, but I mean, it's totally different as a recorded thing.
Did you guys do that on tape back then?
No CD. We recorded at Paradise Studios, and it
That was
expensive.
it was a digital.
Yeah, back
situation
then
back
it was
then,
all
yeah.
on disc and everything.
It was like the ADAT, whatever.
I'm not really sure. I just showed up and played. So
Did you
Yeah.
guys?
That's what an engineer's for.
Did you guys track it live?
no, we didn't. We did separate tracks for all of it.
You guys lay down a scratch track all in the room and then overdub the pieces?
No, we
or
did a click track except for the drums.
Did you? Okay.
I think that's how it went down. I mean, this is like 20 years ago almost. So, you know.
Yeah. You're summoning the brain cells to do a dance and tantalize us with these stories.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, this
We're doing so good.
summer fest might summon something up as well too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Were you a big Phil Lesh fan?
Not all that much. See, I was never so much into the Dead that much is the thing. I just kind of like the more southern rock style. And the jam band-ish would work. Some of the Dead was really boring to me. So,
Yeah.
but, you know, we played it. It was fun anyways.
Yeah. You guys did some Dead songs?
Not that I can
No?
really
Oh, no.
remember. It was
Did you guys
most,
do any covers?
I know I can remember one. We did Feeling All Right from Joe Cocker. But that's, you know, a simple, I believe, just 2 chords. Something like that.
You guys are mostly doing originals?
Yeah, mostly originals.
Yeah. And then a lot of jamming on that live show.
That was the whole thing.
That's the basis, right? So-
That was the band right there.
Yeah.
You know, we write songs that are about 3 minutes long and play them for 15.
Uh-huh.
So,
You fit right in here tonight.
hey, hope so.
Yeah. It's going to be good. So do we have an agenda tonight at all? Or are we just going to go with that vein of Allman Brothers meets Jerry? And we just
I
do
don't-
some jams. Did you write any?
I actually didn't. I was gonna. Yeah, I didn't write
Any
anything
notes
for
on the
tonight,
page?
but I was gonna pull out. I got some we haven't used yet. I was gonna bust out,
Yeah.
but I didn't get a chance to like write out the agenda for tonight.
Yeah. Well, almost no agenda is a good
So.
place to start sometimes.
Pretty open.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts were basically, you guys have been playing for a while together. Pull something out and see if I can do something behind it, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I really have nothing written down. Just, a couple of riffs here and there, but
Do you have any old songs you've been working on or in the back
not
of your
really.
brain lately that you got to purge?
hey, if it comes out, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as right now, not really
in the
sure.
jam mode. Yeah.
Yep.
So how about you tell us a little bit about your bass? What are you going to be playing for us?
I have a 5-string PV bass, but I've changed the low B string just so it's EAD G, but I put a C string on it, so I shifted them all up. So
Yeah.
I mean, you still get the 5 octaves, but you get a higher octave.
Yeah.
So I like to throw chords in here every once in a while. So, that's what I'm working with.
It's a good idea. I like it.
That's cool. Especially nowadays with like people listen to music on their iPhone and you can't even hear that low B on the iPhone probably.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't have that impact of a low note like it really should, unless you have the
You have a
good
big
system.
speaker. Everybody used to have big speakers, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just. Oh, you're talking about an iPhone or something.
well yeah,
Oh,
well it just seemed like everybody used to have big speakers in their house and now they're not. A lot of people now just have like kind of smaller speakers that
Yeah, sound bars or earbuds or
stuff that
little
just doesn't I
Bluetooth.
guess lend itself towards really like low music.
Yeah, I think it gives you more opportunity as a bass player for there's more playable notes that match with like the harmonies or chords that you're trying to do with an upper C instead of low B. And
yeah, it works for me.
yeah.
It's not just something different. I kind of like it a little better that way.
Did you see any other player that did that gave you the idea, or did it just work
Emulated
out?
off of a 6-string bass.
Okay.
Which
Do you have to buy a 6-string set of strings for it?
No, you don't. You can just purchase a 4-string set and get
And then
the
buy a
single one.
separate, yeah.
Yeah. A 6-string sets are really freaking expensive. So
Yeah. I like it because it'll be easier if I have to follow you at any point. I can see.
Yeah,
it's the low B is a little confusing.
Yeah, wasn't Chris playing the low B last week?
Yeah, and it gets a little confusing looking over. You got to forget about that
Yeah, you
low
forget
string.
the first string, huh? Yeah, you have to recalculate the math in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Just one more thing to instantaneously choose when you're jamming, you like to try to find out what note or string they're on. Good. Well, from jug band to, did you do anything after the Amazing Jug Band?
no, nothing serious. Just
Yeah.
jammed with a couple guys here and there. One of my friends is a pretty good guitar player, but he's decided to move himself up to Oregon. So yeah, and all we really did was acoustic stuff. I also have an acoustic 4-string bass, but
Did
I
you
was-
write songs for the jug band at all?
yes, yeah, we did. Maybe 4 or 5 were written when I started, but at the end of it, it was a full collaboration with everybody. Obviously, not the lyrics. I've never sang before. 'Cause I have a voice for singing, but yeah.
What was your guys' songwriting style, or where'd you guys like to start from inspirationally, like vocals, riffs, or a little bit of both?
Mostly just guitar riffs, and I'd throw something in the back with the bass, and just sort of mold it all together. Our drummer was very open to anything, basically. So,
You would hear that guitar riff floating by and kind of latch onto that, but he'll hold on to the bass groove too. So kind of like good jam drummer.
just a good jam drummer and
Yeah.
jam band. So.
Yeah. So where do you come from on the bass more? Would you say more rhythmically or harmonically? Or a combination of
About a
both?
combination of both.
Yeah. So no emphasis on either one. You think it should be well balanced with both?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because you go too far on either side, it doesn't work. And, I don't know, a little too many notes is a little too many at sometimes, is my kind of thoughts. It just, when it fits in, it fits in right.
Yeah, the tastiness, right? Kind of what you don't play, that open space is just as epic as what you do play, and it complements.
True, but then, there's that 8th measure right there that you want to throw a nice little fill in.
Yeah, the transition point.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you choose wisely? So I guess then that's
just-
where you do pick it up
just
in the
happens,
moment. Yeah.
you know?
So that's when you may tilt over more to the rhythmic side or the harmonic side, depending on the transition point.
Well, it also
the balance.
it has to be a feel of everyone as well. It's not just okay. I think this should go like this. No, he's doing this. He's doing that. I'm doing this. It all can mold in and be correct that way.
Especially from the rhythm section, huh? Because
Oh yeah.
listening and complimenting each given moment.
How long ago did Dustin ask you to do this? Did you play the bass like before in preparation or anything?
Actually, no. I've really just sort of picked it up here and there, and what was it last week? He asked me, "Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do this."
Yeah.
I said, "Sure,
Threw it
okay."
on last week. Like,
Yeah.
All right, hey, next Tuesday we're jamming, right?
Well, it was gonna be Monday, but I'd forgotten that was Memorial Day, so that didn't happen. And then
Happy Memorial Day out there to all the soldiers. Too.
Yes.
Thank you for your
They're
service.
going to hear this like a month, in a month or so.
We'll be
Belated
paying it
Memorial
forward
Day.
and delayed.
This will be like
It's an entire
I don't
month.
know. This
of
is more like
celebration.
probably getting you ready for 4th of July or something.
Well, another celebration of our
there you go.
yeah. So thank you again for your service. So I mean, hey, it's good to be here after the Memorial Day weekend holiday. We've got a good group of jammers here, the Power Trio. I'm excited for this one, guys.
Yeah, this is the one where this is my first time meeting you, and you've never jammed with him, so
Yeah, this is the first one I think where neither of the hosts have jammed with the guest.
Okay,
That's awesome.
Well, interesting.
this is a rare occasion.
But on the other side, I have hung out with the guest a lot and built a friendship with the guest. So I think in communication-wise, if you use that as an analogy towards music and jamming, we kind of, I think, built that foundation like we possibly have jammed together before, but musically. So we've shared ideas. We've shared bands we're interested in. So I think we understand a certain direction than just meeting a stranger off the street. But we've got the band rundown. We've listened to tunes and talked music and theory. You know, it's kind of like me and you. We've talked that weird musician stuff that you do before you jam about just, life, the universe, music. So though it is the first of not playing with someone, I feel almost like we have played together in some sense.
I think a lot of it is because we listen to the same style of music,
Yeah.
and not necessarily that one particular style, but the same styles.
Yeah.
Several different ones.
Our musical background isn't aligning. It's very, very well. And the ones that I listen to that he hasn't heard of, and the ones he's heard of that I don't listen to, they are complementary to the veins that we already do like. So, I think it might be a good merging tonight.
What are some some newer bands that you like that are still playing?
Well, definitely not the same style, but I've been listening to Alt J quite a bit. And I'm glad that he likes that.
I haven't heard that.
I turned them on to that. I just saw them at the Greek Theater, and they were really, really good.
Well, I just found him listening to like some song off the radio.
It's called Alt J.
Yeah.
Alt-J.
like on a computer.
So that's on the Apple computer.
Uh-huh.
It makes
And that a lot of the stuff is stuff he showed me, like the weird metal kind of stuff. I mean, Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum is awesome. I've never heard anything like that other than say like a Mr. Bungle or something, that kind of idea. But I really just kind of stick to the same old standard. If I feel like listening to metal, I'll listen to metal. If it's Primus, something like that.
You still listen to the Allman Brothers?
Oh, absolutely.
I listen to Allman Brothers a lot.
Yeah, we have an Allman Brothers Day, probably at least once every 2 weeks. Where we just throw that.
What's your favorite Allman Brothers track?
I'm not sure the name of it. It's another one of the slower, more jammy ones. It's not Sweet Melissa, but yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
Full Shine?
My favorite is
No, it's not that one.
My favorite's Alive, Fillmore East, Whipping Post.
Oh,
That right there is a great
It's
song.
like 18-minute.
I don't think I've heard
it's
it
like a whole
live,
side of the
but-
record, pretty much, I think.
Nice. And then
Yeah.
every once in a while, you got to throw in like some Jethro Tull or something that's a little odd.
Flute rock?
Yeah, a little odd.
Yeah. Epic flute rock. Definitely Prague flute rock. Say Prague flute rock 10 times.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah.
Well, shall we jam it?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. So, hey, welcome back to the Mystery School, Aaron, as now an initiate of the Mystery School.
And thank you guys for the opportunity.
Of course. How do you feel now being a truly initiated member of the Mystery School?
I'm very scared. Do we have to wear different kind of underwear now, or?
As you move up the
whatever.
rankings, you can wear different kind of underwear, different kind of robes, whatever it is that creates your expression.
All right.
So,
That
hey,
seems like what you want to start doing. We're cool with it.
and as you get braver and braver, your underwear color and expression from the inside can be outward into a robe, a hat, a wig. Who knows? Even sequin boots.
Well, the color expression from the inside of my underwear is a little odd at the moment. So,
What would that be? Striped?
now sort of a greenish brown.
Greenish brown. Baby shit, greenish brown?
Well, you know, I've learned that the best thing to eat is baby food.
Oh, that's the baseman's diet right there.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So to live completely in the pocket, you have to have a baby food diet.
Yes, injected.
Straight up injected.
Yep.
We're main veining now. That is the true source. Do you think the stomach is actually a vestigial organ, and if you bypass that with your fueling, it's a more efficient route to refueling?
No, but you've told me you heard something on one of those shows about that.
Great answer.
That's maybe one of your worst ideas, huh?
That was my worst throw it out there devil's advocate side. But it was basically trying to tie in the mind over the matter effect. How far can you take the concept of mind over matter? If you believe it works in this scenario or that scenario, how far can you take the scenarios?
I also think, well, there's physical things, you know, you need to drink water, you need to breathe. So, I mean, there could be mind over matter, but if you stop breathing, there is no more mind.
Breath is the key to life. That is for sure. So, what do you think about when you jam?
Nothing. It just happens.
Is it a meditative state then for you?
I wouldn't say meditative state. It just goes.
Would
Yeah.
you say what you think about is the sounds of the music?
Yeah, that'd work. It's not like I'm sitting there trying to focus on
That's what I feel like.
this chord and that chord. It just goes. It comes out. That's it.
Yeah, it's like the sound is what you're thinking about.
Yeah,
Like
so
you
then
heard what I was thinking about because you played it in a way.
Possibly.
I mean, that's right.
yeah, I'd like to believe that. I mean,
Well, isn't that kind of what your thoughts were, or they were at least like an idealized version of what you did? Was
Yeah.
what your thoughts
it's
were?
a
at the time
musical
when you were
expression
jamming?
of your thought with the tools that you have in your hand or the instrument that you have in your hand.
But we always fall short of our ideals when we're jamming, right? You're like,
Well,
Possibly,
you know
or
what the
times you
ideals
that's how I
are.
feel.
Or do you exceed your idea? Like sometimes you may write in a really impressive cursive that day and you're like, wow, how did my hand say that? You know, it might be a normal word, but you just expressed it in a way. And then, yeah, a lot of the times you don't express the thought in this block writing and illegible, you know. So that's, I think, the key of jamming is trying to get how to get that thought out clearly, but in a millisecond and limited amount of time. So you have to learn to make choices quickly. And where do you base your inspiration from? And you have to ultimately choose everywhere so
I'll
you
let
can
you talk eventually.
grasp that.
Okay, well, there was a lot of words right there. I'm just thinking, okay, this last little short jam, okay, inspiration, just a quick little drum beat. Oh, and that just came out of nowhere. Didn't think about it, just did it, and there it is. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. That's what I've always felt more about music is you just do it unconsciously, even though you know what you're doing. I know I'm standing there playing my bass, you know, but it's just the stuff that comes out of it. It's not. I'm not sitting there reading music. Obviously, I can't do that. It's just here it is. This is what comes out. This is what's coming out of my brain through my fingers. You know,
Drawing on past muscle memory.
that's exactly what I just did right there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, I haven't picked the thing up seriously in so many years. Obviously, this had to come from somewhere. I learned this somewhere. I didn't just do it tonight. So
Yeah. So I guess that's what practice is preparing your muscle memory to.
yeah, well, I guess it never necessarily goes away. If you come back with the same similar stuff, I mean, I was doing some of the same riffs I remembered from, you know, obviously about 20 years ago. Obviously, they weren't very clean, but I still remembered how to do them.
Yeah, but also, we jammed long enough where you get back into the groove.
True.
Because if you only did it for like 20 minutes, you might not get there. You know.
Yeah,
It takes a little time to get, for me to like, even sometimes after not playing for a week or so. Takes a little time to get back into the groove.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess we put enough time in it for me to get the groove back.
I thought we got, definitely into the groove.
Not necessarily all the skill that I was hoping for, but hey, that's my fault, for not, picking up an instrument in so many years.
Sometimes the jam isn't necessarily about the skill. It's almost about the communication between the people in the room and how they vibe and
I agree with that.
And listen to each other. So I guess it's almost like a personality thing of someone you can hang out with. You might be able to jam with them. And I guess to some point it's based on the muscle memory, which is skill. But a lot of the times expression can come from no skill, and maybe that's the purest place of all. And if it's someone that's a like-minded person, then you can help finish their sentence.
You're thinking
together.
if you just brought any random buddy over
Yeah,
and gave an
give him an instrument,
it would
or
be
maybe
amazing.
No, well, not I'm saying that, but I mean, I've had experiences where I've played with people. They weren't just like you just here give them an instrument, but they were maybe a younger person learning it, and they weren't technically proficient yet. But you start jamming, and they just that's how you become technically proficient through practice, is jamming on ideas that are coming in your head, and they're practicing and they're learning how to listen. Where on the flip side of that, I've jammed with people who are very skilled and they've been playing for more years and they've learned all the technical skills, but when you try to jam with them, they can't step outside that box anymore. Maybe they played in their room too much and they haven't practiced the art of listening. I don't know. But I've had both experiences where you're like, wow, you're really good. But
I'm laughing at the idea, like, sorry, bro, you played in your room too much.
Maybe, but I
got
think
out more.
But ultimately, what it led me to, it wasn't a personality or person that I would go and have a beer with and hang out with. Like our conversations,
That's kind of a key
anyways.
to me. A key with me as well. If I'm not comfortable around the person, the people, whatever the group that I can sit down and have an actual conversation and drink a beer with, it's work.
Yeah,
I'm forcing myself to do something I'm not enjoying. Whereas this right here, just let it go. It's awesome. This was a fun experience here.
Yeah, that awkward dude. It's a forced conversation, so you can have those forced awkward jams too with those dudes.
Yeah, it all falls in line like that.
I've thought of that, or at least played with that idea, because I've had both experiences. So I'd like to get other people's impression on that. Obviously, if you have really badass musicians, you put them in a room, it doesn't matter. When you get to a certain level, but some people just can't jam. Well, it takes practice to jam, I think. You have to really try.
Well, and I think that's what practice is. I mean, when you go to write a song as a group, instead of just saying a guitar player, a bass player, drummer, whatever, writes the whole song out, and you just kind of do it all together, well, you're practicing in the first place, but then you're coming up with a group idea.
You're
and
practicing
feeding
how to
off
collaborate.
feeding off of everybody else, So
Yeah,
I've always liked it better that way.
I like to just kind of maybe sometimes work on just one part of a song. You just loop it for a long time. Everyone plays it.
Yeah, definitely.
You do that with the different parts of the song, and then you put it all together.
Yeah, you perfect each part, then you perfect the transitions between the parts, and then put it all together.
And that works as well, other than ADC, right now this many measures, and this is what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do.
Every time you play it in that same order.
Well, it
That's how you
depends.
do most people approach covers, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not into covers. I don't think I remember any covers anymore, so...
Yeah, jam, I think it's a practice of collaboration too. Like being in a band, like you do have to practice. It's being in a relationship and practicing communication, and collaboration is something that's a learned skill. And I think jamming definitely helps musicians, hone their collaboration skills, their listening skills, and how they complement their band and where they kind of fit in,
And also there's so much room for error. And to me, that's a good thing, because if I screw up on that, that means I can come back to that same riff or that same whatever part and think, okay, here's where I effed up before. Now let's try this a different way. Let's try this a better way, that kind of thing.
And almost
because it's not set in stone,
Or the mess up, it inspires you for the part you were trying to play, so you can hear parts in between.
I think people hear me mess up so much, they're like, it's cool to mess up.
It's part of it.
The host is messing up all the time.
You're like Kurt Cobain.
I feel completely confident in messing up because this guy's messing up way more than me.
Well, also, that note sounds really cool, that one that just sucked. So let's try and do something around that one, and it can completely turn a jam into something different.
Yeah. You get that weird mood from a certain note that's a little out there.
Yeah, you have a happy song, and then you get the messed up, deep kind of note. Oh, wait, this is a cool change. Let's try and work on this, you know?
Yeah, intentionalize screw up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Expand upon.
You could change the past through the present. It's magic.
There you go, to create the new future.
And then we go back to the future.
That's 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2. And how many times did we go back to the future?
3, as far as I know.
3.
Yep.
Third time's the charm, right?
All right. Sign out, fellas.
Signing off.
Okay, well, thank you, Mystery School, for having me. Audience, I hope you enjoyed what you heard, and it's been a great time.
You want to give them any ways to like find you or anything, or are you going as a mysterious musician?
Actually, no. If you would like to find me, my email address is asbrown59@yahoo.com. It's obviously for Aaron Stewart Brown.
All right.
And, yeah, phone number, sure, why not? 916-850-9685.
Oh,
and
there we go. We're going.
don't
We're going.
be some weird pedophile guy because I have a gun.
So, hey, we're making new friends tonight.
Hey, sure.
All the way out there. We're spreading the web wide.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear if you get any phone calls from this.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to answer them because if I don't, don't recognize the phone number,
So
yes, I'm going to screen them.
Better leave a convincing message if
Yes,
you ever want me
definitely.
to call you back.
And leave money, too. Nah, just kidding about that.
You want to give out your bank account number or anything? So I can transfer funds directly into your account?
Sure.
You might take them from your account.
Well, it's a good thing I barely have anything in there.
All right. Mystery
Well, hey,
School.
man. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Signing out.
Signing off.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Yeah,
All right,
man, thanks for coming out.
Tony,
It was cool.
Aaron. Hey, thanks again, guys.